So we're going to be taking a look at another kind of ever-growing popular fragrance DNA here. We're going to be taking a look at Armaf Très Nuit Lyric. And this is going to be a clone of Acqua di Gio Profondo. So Profondo, this one right here, really solid release. It came out in 2020, I believe is when it was. Orange, mineral notes, sea notes, cashmere, all that stuff. Just a completely mind-blowing take on an aquatic. Really nice stuff. Of course, given that it's from the brand of Giorgio Armani and it's in the Acqua di Gio lineup, it's not going to be cheap. You know, even at discounters, around $100, sometimes more. Now, as you guys are aware, there is also a clone of Profondo out there called Azzurro Chrome Extreme, and this is a really solid clone as well. Not discrediting this one at all. Great stuff. But the Armaf is going to be cheapest of all of them. This one here, the Azzurro, kind of goes on and off. Sometimes you can get it for like 35 or so, which is about the lowest it's been for 100 mil, 34, 35. Now it's back up to about 44. Sometimes they'll be floating around 50. It's just kind of sporadic, but still the Armaf, even at, you know, the chrome's lowest, this is still going to be cheapest at around, depending on when you get it, $25, $28, somewhere around in there. So if you're on a budget to the extreme, then the Armaf is going to be one you'll want to look at. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to tell you how this one smells, how it performs, how similar it is to Profondo, and I think it's worth picking up. Let's get into it. So when you first spray this one on, you get this nice mix of orange, bergamot, and just kind of watery notes, aquatic notes right off the rip. Smells great, and it really reminds you of that breath of fresh air kind of feeling that you get when you spray on Profondo, and for that matter, Azzurro Chrome Extreme as well. I don't know, there's something about this DNA that just really kind of, I don't know, makes me just feel refreshed. You know, it's something that's uplifting, that's bright. And sure, a lot of aquatics can do that for you. A lot of citrus fragrances can do that for you. But there's something about this DNA in particular that is just literally like a breath of fresh air. Like you smell that and it's almost like you're arriving at the beach. You've been on the plane, you've been in the car for 12 hours or something, and it's like you finally step foot on the beach, you take everything in, you take in the smell of the ocean and the fact that vacation has started, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is awesome. That's kind of what this one really wraps up into one. Now, it is a little bit strange to me, and this is kind of off topic, but why they made this a flanker, you know? Armaf Très Nuit, as you know, is a clone of Green Irish Tweed, which is not similar at all to this DNA. And now, to be fair, this is nothing new with Armaf. They have Armaf Club de Nuit for men, which is, I believe that one is a 1 million clone, if I'm thinking of the correct thing. And then Armaf Club de Nuit Intense is an Aventus clone. So same deal, they do flankers and none of the flankers relate to each other. But I don't know, I just kind of thought this would have deserved its own line. Although I guess the Aventus clone, Club de Nuit Intense Man, would have definitely deserved its own line, given it's their #1 bestseller. But I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're new to Armaf, this is nothing at all like the original Très Nuit. And that's my issues. I think this can get confusing, so don't let that confuse you. Look at every flanker as its own thing. And to that point, we'll take a look at the note breakdown here. I already listed off the top notes. You get the orange, bergamot, watery notes. The mid, you start picking up on some rosemary, cypress, and lavender. So aromatic mid with that rosemary, lavender, just like Profondo. And in the base, musk, patchouli, and amber. A lot of similarities here. You get a good dose of musk in Profondo and a lot of kind of amber as well, which is just giving off this kind of more so ambroxan feel, but it's not blue fragrance at all. It's just kind of giving it a little bit of a fuzziness, more so in the base, just giving it that sea notes, aquatic type of thing. A lot of aquatics out there are going to be using some form of ambroxan, I'm sure, or ambergris as some may try to call it, just to give you that sea notes type of experience. So I found that this one has been just about as close to dead on as you can get to Profondo, and I'm talking from opening to dry down. And kind of similar deal with Chrome Extreme, although Chrome Extreme slightly veers off. I find that the Armaf stays on track maybe a little bit more, although one thing that you don't get with the Armaf that you get in Profondo for sure is you get a little bit less of the mineral notes. And same thing with Chrome Extreme. Even it doesn't get down that mineral note smell like Profondo itself has. So I think that was just a really genius concoction done by Alberto Marias when he was creating that one to be able to create a smell like that, because it's unlike anything I've ever smelled. And again, it hasn't been replicated yet in these clones, at least not nearly to that level. So that is one thing about Profondo that will stick out among its clones. But that being said, this one still seems to stay on track the most. So I think clone-wise, the Armaf actually might be closer than Chrome Extreme. And really, that doesn't surprise me all that much, to be fair, because Armaf is strictly a clone brand. And while Azzaro has some clone-ish fragrances out there, they also do their own thing a lot of times as well. Now, I really do like this stuff here. I mean, going into it, I knew it was going to be decent because I think Armaf can put out some great colognes, but I didn't think I was going to like it this much. Like, it's to the point where I would just pick this one up and wear it on days where maybe I'm feeling Profondo. I almost said Profumo. Profondo, just because this one is so close, and because it lacks some of the mineral notes going on, I think in some instances it can almost be a little bit more wearable and maybe a little bit more approachable to some, especially if you're newer to fragrances and maybe something with a different twist like that might kind of put you off. This one here is just kind of even more wearable than Profondo in some instances. Now, this is an eau de parfum concentration, like I had mentioned, and it's the same deal with Armaf Très Nuit, which is, again, the Green Irish Tweed clone. And so performance on me has been really good. You know, it's been 7-8 hour scent consistently, which for a summer fragrance is already really good. You're already ahead of the game. But also for a summer fragrance that's only costing you 28 bucks, so we'll say less than 30 bucks, then we're really talking here. I mean, look, there are some fragrances out there for summertime that are pushing 100 bucks that can't even make it to 5 hours. So when you have something that does this well, I think it's important to realize that that is solid. I think it's so easy to get caught up in wanting 12 or 14 hours out of everything for some reason. And especially when it comes to summer fragrances, on a budget, and just even not on a budget, that's unrealistic. You get over to winter and yeah, it's going to be a little bit more common, but there's going to be a lot of cheap winter fragrances that are pushing around 5 or 6 as well. So you kind of just have to understand when something is good without getting, you know, a little bit too spoiled here. Quality on this one is also very nice, very smooth from, you know, start to finish here. The opening doesn't come across unnatural or off-putting, given that it has a lot of citrus going on. So in some cheaper fragrances, all of that at once in conjunction with the perfumer's alcohol can kind of give off something that's a little bit rough. That's not the case here with this one at all. It really opens up high quality. Now, it's not going to be a luxury fragrance quality like Profondo or going over to niche or something, but also I really can't complain. And I've definitely smelled things that are worse quality in this price point, like no questions asked. So it holds up really well. Now, do I think this one is worth picking up? If you want an affordable alternative to Profondo, then definitely. You know, if you're just on a budget and, you know, that's really kind of your main goal, you're just on a budget for a summer fragrance in general. Maybe you haven't even smelled Profondo. Maybe you're not trying to make your goal to get like Profondo, but maybe you just want a cheap, good performing summer fragrance and that's it, then go for this one. I mean, yeah, you're going to be wearing something that is a clone and it's going to be similar to something else, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? It doesn't always have to be the goal of, oh, I'm trying to get something that smells similar to that to save money. It could just be that you just want a summertime fragrance on a budget. Go for this one and you're not going to be disappointed. This DNA is really good. And I'm here to predict that I don't think the clones are going to be stopping of this DNA. I really don't. I've already got a couple solid ones. I'm sure they're going to continue to come out because this DNA is going to be a bestseller. So I think that's really going to do it for me. Armaf Très Nuit Eau de Parfum. Really nice, good performing Profondo clone, and it's going to be the cheapest, at least so far. You know, it's going to be cheaper than Chrome Extreme, all of that stuff, and all around a little bit closer to Profondo, at least in my opinion. I will drop a link to this one down below so you can get it for the price I've been referencing. Things do go in and out of stock, and when things come back into stock, prices can change. So if the price is wrong, Don't get mad at me because that's what it is at the time of me recording this. I have to have some sort of reference point to go off. I can't just say that this is cheap and not throw out a price, because then people are going to be asking about the price, and then, you know, people are going to get upset about that too. I had someone say, you need to start checking the prices of things before you do videos. And I'm like, well, has it ever occurred to you that the prices of things can change after I put the video out? Not even from brands raising them because I did the video, because that's not really what it is. It's just things change. So it's something to think about. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.